Good morning, boys and girls. This morning I want to talk to you about a shipwreck. Think about being out on the ocean and being surrounded by a storm. Now, in our day, we have motors, so the motors can help us to get to shore, but look at this boat right here. This is the kind of boat that I'm talking about today, and look at the back. No motor. The only way that they could get someplace is by the sails. When the storm was really, really bad, sometimes they would have to take the sails down because the wind would push them this way, then this way, and make them swirl all around. So it was very scary. Today's story is about a man named Paul. Paul was on a ship like this one, and he was not able to use a motor because they didn't have them then, and he was going from one place to another. They got to a safe place, and he said, "You know what? We should stay here for the winter and then go on because it's going to be really bad weather. And God told me if we go on, we're going to get shipwrecked." But the captain of the ship didn't believe him. There was some really nice weather, so they quick got on the ship and headed out. And when they headed out, the good weather turned not good. Instead of good weather, they had a hurricane. Now, a hurricane is when there are really strong winds and it rains really hard. And boy, were those sailors afraid. They had seen a lot of bad weather and they were used to sailing in not perfect conditions, but this was bad. In fact, they didn't want their boat to be so heavy, so they started taking barrels of things and throwing it over the side. They started taking anything they didn't need and tossing it over so that their boat would be lighter and it would stay up on the high part of the waves. And they were afraid for 14 days. Oh, think of how long that would be. They were in that boat and they were throwing things over the side that they didn't need, and they weren't eating, and they were trying to row one way or keep this boat safe on the water, and they were doing their very best for 14 days. They didn't eat because they were so busy. And then Paul said, "You know what? God showed me in a dream that we are going to have a shipwreck, but everyone will make it safe to the shore. Now let's all eat so we have some strength." And then he took some bread and he prayed to God and asked him to bless that bread. And then he went on with his day and did what he could to help the ship. The other men saw what he was doing and they thought, "Oh, that is a good idea." And so they took some food too. And when they had all eaten, sure enough, their ship wrecked. There were 276 people on that ship, and every single one of them made it to shore, just as the angel had told Paul. When they got to the shore, they had to dry up, right? Because they were soaked in the rain and in that water in the ocean. And so they wanted to build a fire. Paul was helping them to build the fire. And when he grabbed some sticks, guess what? His bad stuff wasn't done yet. A snake came out and bit him. Now, all the people that saw that thought, "Oh no, that is a dangerous snake. When he gets that kind of a bite, his arm is going to swell way up and he is going to die." So they watched and they watched. But God had told Paul that he was going to make it from the shipwreck all the way to the city that he wanted to, that another ship was going to come and save them in a little while. So nothing happened. And they looked at him and they said, "Ah, you must be a god. If you don't have all that swelling in your arm, if that snake bite isn't hurting you, you must be the one we have to worship." So they started to bow down, and Paul said, "Oh, no, don't worship me." And he told them all about Jesus. And he had a chance to share all the good news of Jesus. And everywhere he went, he talked to them about Jesus. And so all of those people were saved, and later on, a ship did come and take them away. So our callback today is something like that goes like this: Jesus' power gives us hope. Then you have to say, what do you remember? Trust Jesus. Let's try it again. Jesus' power gives us hope. Trust Jesus. Yes. And there's a special Bible memory verse that goes with this story today. And it goes like this. So be strong and courageous, all you who put your hope in the Lord. Psalm 31, verse 26. Can you try it with me? So be strong and courageous, all you who put your hope in the Lord. Psalm 31, verse 26. Thank you. Have a good day.